We are in the thick of HHN announcement season, baby, with a brand new house that just dropped for both coasts, Orlando and Hollywood. We have some brand new merch that we have to check out. We have the Megans out here at Universal Studios Florida celebrating Summerween, but most importantly, we have some really important decisions to talk about right now.
Now, by show of hands, who guessed that we were going to get a Friday the 13th announcement on Friday the 13th? HHN likes to keep us surprised from time to time. I'm very happy that they did drop an announcement on a Friday. And with that, you know we've got to go sprint to the Five and Dime normally to check out that merch. But we heard there was a little surprise guest showing up at the park today. Our favorite dollies are in town, and we've got to go say hi. Let's go.
Music is starting. They're coming out. They will be here momentarily. I'm so excited. Universal is theirs now. The Megans rule Hollywood Boulevard. All right, that was fun. I knew that they had started to come out earlier this weekend. We hadn't had a chance to catch them yet. I didn't know what to expect, but definitely I felt a little bit of that HHN energy, excitement of them coming out back in the, when they would come out back in the day. What was it, HHN 32? So that was exciting to see them back in action here at Studios. But most importantly, you know what time it is, baby. It's time to check out that HHN merch.
Let's do it.
Jason time, baby. How does it go?
You were close.
Like that? ASMR?
Close enough.
Jason Voorhees, ASMR. And entering the Five and Dime, we have the Jason Universe merch front and center like we did have with Fallout. As you can see, things have changed a little bit. We don't see the stand anymore, the stained glass stand, but we do have a huge one here to show you the Fallout with the Ghoul, and we have Jason here. Now, I am very curious. I did hear that the stand was sold out. Gotta check up on that, but we should definitely ask that. However, check out this mug. A little bit of Jason and coffee, if you ask me. Now this mug is going to be $20. And alongside that, we also had a Jason Universe shirt. It's going to be basically the front side with the Jason logo, Halloween Horror Nights 2025. And then on the back, you will have the new Jason, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. But the new and improved, depending on who you ask. Depending who you ask. Debatable, very debatable. But the new Jason from Jason Universe, which we will get into in just a little bit. What do you think about the shirt, Hawk?
I really like the design. I especially like the back. I wish the back was on the front, I'm not gonna lie.
Because you wear a lot of backpacks, so if you're wearing the backpack, you can't really see the design. But if you don't wear backpacks or you wear crossovers like me, this is a perfect little number.
All right, we don't need this is not a Jason dance.
Also, we got
another insert
for the stained glass window, which you already know, baby. We brought our stained glass window, so we're gonna put this on here in the park a little bit later. So if you wanted to grab everything, a show just let out because the Five and Dime just got busy. But if you wanted to grab the shirt, the mug, and the insert, $8, $33, and $20. Now, something I learned on the interwebs, if you have been to the Five and Dime, you know that in this mirror, the curator does come out every so often. However, it's very difficult to see him without an opaque shirt kind of blocking the back. So we're going to test this out in real time. Yes. All right, you can't see me, but you'll be able to see it, which is the most important thing. There you go. Woo!
Look at that. Doesn't look too happy. He looks kind of grumpy.
Honestly, if you ask me, it kind of looks like Walk in the Morning, but
that's me when we don't get an HHN announcement. Sorry to tell you.
But today is not one of those days because it is a Friday the 13th, and we have an announcement. If you are coming to the Five and Dime or Universal Studios Florida, most likely, more than often, you will find this also at Universal's Islands of Adventure in the
All Hallows Eve Boutique.
All Hallows Eve Boutique. I am just losing my words today.
The best store in the park. Come on now.
Yes, the best store in Islands. But also, you still have some of the Fallout merch from the last announcement in here. I wonder if the Ghoul insert for the stained glass window is still here, because I don't see it. So maybe that's no longer here, but it could be at the other stores, and we just haven't gone to the other stores to check out. All right, the time has come. It is the moment of truth. we have our second insert. He's in.
I gotta be honest, as an Orlando local, it feels so cool to have a merch drop and be able to sprint to the Five and Dime to be one of the first ones to check it out.
Something we've never been able to do
We've never been
before.
able to do this before. So if you are eventually gonna move to Orlando, make sure you hop on that because it's like a adrenaline rush. But anyway, that was fun, but we've got to talk about the Jason universe, baby. Let's go.
But before we do that, do you think that we're gonna get an HHN bar here?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Do you think we're gonna get HHN? What are we getting here for
I'm
HHN?
just throwing it out there that a Five Nights at Freddy's bar wouldn't be too bad.
That would be amazing. I don't know, but I can't wait. I can't wait to just like see all the lights, everything, the music here. I mean, something usually does pop up in Battery Park, and I wonder if the HHN bar was successful enough for it to come back for a second year, but I'm excited. I can't wait to just start seeing all of the construction kind of like peeking through. Yes. Okay, now let's actually go talk about Jason.
Okay, getting there. She's
getting better,
there.
getting better.
Let's talk about Jason Universe.
Yes, Friday the 13th, on Friday the 13th, kind of, sort of,
yeah,
a little bit.
we
can say that.
Now we got a pretty cool description that HHN dropped on us.
Yes, come face to face with the iconic horror villain Jason Voorhees. Step into the terrifying world of this silent killer, flee through the woods into his sinister shack, enter the summer camp where his gruesome legend began. Jason is back and nothing can save you now.
Right off the bat, the first thing I can already see it when they said the sinister shack is we're probably gonna go in there. We're gonna see the
shrine with Pamela's head on it. Oh, whoo,
Jason's mom.
kiss.
If you're not aware or don't know anything about the Jason universe, that is the original killer from the first Friday the 13th. And I can totally see it. Now, the other cool thing, well, not cool, this is very exciting, especially if you're a huge Jason fan, is this is the third Jason house at HHN. We haven't had one since HHN 25, and that was Freddy versus Jason. Were you trying to drink with the cap on? She's not even paying attention. And from what I remember in that house, that was such a great house. Do you remember anything of it? You have to take a drink to think.
It's a take a drink to think.
Wow,
From that year, I remember some things. That house, it wasn't
much?
It wasn't my favorite house, so not a lot of things I remember there.
Well, that was probably my favorite year, so I do remember
It was a favorite for a lot of folks,
Yeah.
and that's why the Jason universe, as an announcement today, has been really just kind of like flowing through the interwebs. Everyone is excited.
Everybody's
you can
been
feel
super in the community.
The excitement
you can
in
feel
the
it.
air.
Not only that, but we got to talk about the 48-second promotional teaser
We do.
that came with it.
Let's roll the tapes. Bob hit it.
Bob
hit it. Lock up your wives, lock up your neighbors. Zaddy Jason is in the house.
Jason, have you seen him without a mask? A few things that stood out to me there. Of course, just like the Fallout teaser, we're in another room again with the entire room decked out with a whole bunch of Easter eggs. And here we see, of course, the classic Jason hockey mask. We see in the corner some ice skates, hockey skates, of course. And we also see
the Camp Crystal Lake
sign on the wall. But the thing that stood out to me the most, if you look in the corner left, there is an HHN poster, but specifically it's an HHN 32 poster. Maybe there's nothing behind it, it's just me just throwing things. It was part of the trailer. Why would they pick that poster of any other HHN year?
What do you think? What do you think it could be?
I don't know. The first thing that came to mind, and this is just me just grasping for straws at this point, the first thing that popped in my head was we had Dr. Oddfellow as an icon that year. Are we going to get something similar this year? No?
This is a Jason
what I'm talking
announcement.
about. Maybe it's part of the overall event. You never know.
Listen,
Whatever.
what do you think? Do you think it was just kind of something that the HHN team just put that in there? Do you think he's reaching, or do you think that this means something else?
Now, the other thing, of course, the biggest of all, is if you didn't pay close attention enough, the Jason universe is a redesign of the Jason Voorhees classic mask. So you saw all of everything that you saw in the teaser was the new Jason.
The new and improved.
A lot of horror fans are not from what I've heard, not a huge fan of the new design, but I mean, I think it's pretty cool. I
think he looks like
slimmer.
He's hit the gym a little bit more. He's got a little something.
It depends on which one you
Jason's
watch.
gone Hollywood, if you know what I mean.
Point is that's the Jason that we're most likely going to see at this house.
Yes.
And of course, with all of that, Peacock is doing produced by A24. They're doing a whole Crystal Lake series that could come out either this year or next year. So there's a huge possibility that we could see, as part of the Jason universe, a storyline from the Crystal Lake. There's a lot of potential for this house, and could it be something similar to what we saw over at Hollywood with the legacy of Leatherface?
Yes.
Or is it going to be a whole unique story because it is the Jason universe? We don't know. But
TBD.
Either way, I'm freaking excited for this one.
Ooh, we got 2 houses down, 8 to go. It is really just starting to feel like the season is picking up when it comes to those announcements. And speaking of that, as you are watching this, we are officially under 77 days until the opening day of Halloween Horror Nights. Is right. Because you have to start making some critical decisions when it comes to HHN. Your who's, your what's, your when's. You don't have to figure everything out right now this very second, but I promise you that if you nail down some of these points that we're going to talk about, your experience at HHN is going to go a whole lot smoother than if you didn't.
Let's start with who you're going with and what it is you're doing. I want you to picture something for a second. Just close your eyes and follow me now. It is August 1st, and you finally found your Scream Squad. But you were really looking forward to going to HHN opening day and getting those express passes, but you figured out that your Scream Squad does not want those express passes. So it puts you at a crossroads whether you go by yourself or you find yourself a new Scream Squad. That is something that happens a lot. And it's something that we recommend for you to find who it is that you're going with as early as possible and start having those conversations on what it is that you're going to be doing and get yourself on the same page. It is June right now, and it is the perfect timing for you to call up your friend, whoever it is that you're going with, and that way you can ask each other, are you going to get express passes here? Are we going to go through Scream early? Are we going to do all of the houses? Are we going for more than one day, etc.? You get the point. And that way you have enough time to plan, and you have enough time to save the money, get the babysitter, start requesting your PTO, etc. We're gonna dive a little bit more when it comes to strategy and stuff in another video, but being that it is June, now is the perfect time to do that.
And the metaphorical scenario that Joaquin just gave you, we have actually been through ourselves. We had a whole group that we were going to Halloween Horror Nights with. It was a whole setup, a whole plan. And then we were like, hey, we gotta do express passes, gotta do a second night, which again, strategy we'll talk about in a different video. But it turned out that our Scream Squad was heavily against what day it was important to go to HHN, whether express passes were worth it, and whether that second night was really worth it. We finally got everybody on the same page when it came to express passes for one night, but the second night, we ended up having to go by ourselves because nobody else wanted to go. If we would have planned all of this much earlier on, maybe the situation would have been a little bit different. Come here. Release the Kraken, or
You mean Goblin's Feast?
open the gates.
I wonder which 2 houses will be in those back tents this year.
I know, and I wonder if I'm going to either love that extremely long walk more or less.
Well, here's an idea. Why don't we have some golf carts by the doors?
Have some golf carts take us.
Be able to drive us to the houses.
Pay VIP, like whoever decides to pay a little bit extra.
Right.
Will
Express pass plus golf cart. Why not?
Anyway. I know you're probably wondering, but pick a person to go with, start picking out those tickets, those add-ons. I'm not going till all the way in October. What does that matter for me? I'm glad you asked. Now, unless you are a local,
Hi, locals.
hello, and have the opportunity to enjoy HHN all season long, baby,
Right.
you are likely trying to decide when it is that you're going to make it down to HHN.
Yes.
And every single one of those seasons within this larger season, these months, will have
It's pros and
its
cons.
pros and its cons.
So you have August opening weekend, which is one of the most popular times to go.
You also have September, you have October, and you have that closing weekend of October, Halloween weekend moving into November.
Right.
And whether this is not going to be a section where we're going to tell you when is the best time to come to HHN.
Totally up to you.
Because that is totally up to you. This is rather more just pros and cons to help you maybe
Make a decision if you're still
stuck, if this is your first time coming to Halloween Horror Nights, or if you're trying to maybe try out you always go at the end of October, which is what we used to do,
Yeah.
and you want to maybe try out September, something different. Now, kicking it off with that
August.
opening weekend in August.
An automatic
Woo!
pro is the energy is unmatched. It is
Truly.
the opening of the event. Everybody's been waiting for it all year long, so you can feel the excitement as if you're going into a concert or a playoff game. It's
Yes,
like that
it's the
same
first day of
energy.
school almost. You're just like, ah! And if you know people, you're just like, oh my God, you're here, you're here too. But it is, like Kwok said, it's just such an exciting time. Everybody's just kind of
Getting
getting into it, going full force, and
Absolutely.
it is just kind of like the kickoff of an amazing
Right,
season.
now
The cons. It is August. It is scorching hot, which
Yes,
is going to be a
and-
con for probably the entire rest of this. Another con to opening weekend, depending on who you are as a person, you may find this as a pro, you may find this as a con, but if you're the type that does not want to be surrounded by folks who create content, opening weekend will definitely be filled with that. And I say that with a heavy heart because we fall into this category. But everybody will be
something
out
to
here
consider.
with their cameras, with their phones. Everything is being recorded. You
Right.
might fall into somebody's background. If you don't like that, I understand. I get it. But something to keep in mind. Now, if you absolutely, like we said earlier, love to see the folks that you watch on YouTube or on Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is that
You
is
will
your
see
chosen
them.
method, you will probably see them here that opening weekend. Now,
Absolutely.
moving on to
September.
Pro.
September's still busy, but
It is, but I would say I call September kind of like the local season from what we've realized from last season being here for 41 nights. In September, you're going to still get some crowds, but it is definitely going to be on the lighter end
Right, it's more of the
than
locals.
later on in the season. Exactly. When it comes to the cons of September,
the weather is still a con.
it is still
Still a
very hot in September, like extremely hot, like sweating down at like 9 o'clock at night. You're just like dripping sweat. It is still very, very rainy here in Orlando.
Yes.
But I would still say, if you're the type of person who kind of wants like a little bit of a lighter crowd situation, less rowdy crowd situation,
yeah.
September is definitely something to take advantage
Absolutely.
of for sure, if you don't mind the rain.
Right.
don't
Now,
mind
let's
the
jump
rain.
onto October.
Pros for October is HHN season is in full freaking swing.
Right.
And I
So
mean
you're gonna get
everywhere. You're going to get
The
everything.
full fog effects,
Yes.
the scare actors, the lighting, everything is in place where it should be.
Yeah, it is a great time. And honestly, that is the time that Hawk and I used to, before we lived in Orlando, would make our trips up to
Yes.
Orlando in the first
Earlier.
week, the October 6th
Yeah.
time frame. We would always be here. Now, when it comes to the cons, I would say October, in my opinion, has a little bit more cons than the rest of the season. And even me saying this, even though it is more rainy in September and less rainy in October, it is very crowded in October.
Extremely crowded. That's where you're going to see the 120 plus minute waits consistently.
Yes.
There were even some weeknights where we would see, like, I think it was Insidious.
It'd be like a
who
Wednesday,
stayed-
and it's
right.
like, who is
Ghostbusters Frozen
here
Empire
at
also.
this time on a Wednesday night? This is when most
Spooky season.
It is
So
spooky
everybody's
season.
into Halloween Horror Nights.
Kind of like kicks in your brain around
Right.
this time frame.
Right. So people are like, oh,
So, yeah.
October, this is a perfect place
It
to go
is the
celebrate
perfect-
Halloween. So
Exactly.
just keep that in mind.
And something that we noticed last season was October. We love our teens. If you watch us and you're a teen, we love you. But if you're somebody who kind of wants a little bit more of an adult experience, I realized that the October weekends were a lot more packed with
teens.
the 18 and under crowd. And I think that's because, kind of like you said, it is spooky season. So that brain is kicking in saying, let's go do something fun. Let's go to Halloween Horror Nights with the crew.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're not a huge, like you don't really care for the younger crowds and you just want to kind of chill a little bit, maybe the October, especially later in the October season.
Yes. Now, I can't really knock it because I was a teenager coming to HHN. So I see you, I feel you, I love you. But it is something to definitely keep in mind if those later October weekends are something that you're looking into. Yes. Closing weekend.
That is another thing. Well, pros and cons to that. Pro is, debatable whether the energy is just as much or even more than what you see on opening weekend.
It's like two different energies, but this one is just a little bit more amped up because we've had the entire season. So everybody is just kind of like how I said that the first day of HHN is kind of like the first day of school. This is like graduation. Yeah. Everybody's in their feels, especially if you've gone through this whole season. The energy, the scare actors are really, like this is their last scare, so they are giving it all to you.
All out. That's
now, if you are a little bit more curious about what closing weekend looks like, we do have a video on that on the channel. Yes. But now, the true question.
Well, the con. What's the con to it?
Honestly, I don't feel like there's a con to closing weekend. What is the con?
If this is your first time going, or if you've been like itching to go the entire time, I wouldn't recommend going all the way to the end. Like waiting until the last
all the
weekend,
way, and then that's the only thing you have.
That's probably like that should be the last option.
And finally, where are you staying? There's something that you want to take out of this video, and you want to start looking into right now. And I mean seriously, right after this video ends, are those hotel accommodations. HHN is one of the most popular events at Universal Studios, and if you're specifically looking into a Universal hotel, which I gotta tell you, if you're not, what are you doing? But we'll get into that in just a second. Your chosen date and your preferred hotel might not be available if you wait until the last minute. Now, if you know us, you know that we absolutely love the Universal hotels. Highly, highly, highly recommend any of the 11 Universal hotels. Some have their pros over others, but the most important thing are the insane perks that each hotel offers. And that starts with transportation. When you stay at a Universal hotel, you're going to get one of three options really, whether that is a ferry of free transportation, depending on which hotel you choose to stay at, a bus of free transportation, or a walking path, also depending which hotel you choose. But honestly, if it were up to me, I would choose to save on those parking fees, on those Uber fees, on the stress of parking when it comes to Halloween Horror Nights, and the stress of finding your car at the end of the night.
And one of my favorite things about staying at a Universal hotel during HHN is, of course, the food options, because you've got a late night cafeteria or a pantry option which you can go to. Imagine you are at the park all night and you're just dead tired. Imagine having to get into your car and drive around looking for food. You don't have to stress that. Just get on the bus, the free transportation, as Pao mentioned. Go and get yourself a nice meal. And if you can't make it to the cafeteria and it's closed by the time you get there, you can still get room service into pretty late hours into the night. Get yourself a pizza, kick back, relax. It is so worth it.
Two other perks when it comes to staying at a Universal hotel is one, the dedicated entry into Halloween Horror Nights to be able to get in line. If you've ever been to HHN and you're not doing Scream Early, then you know that those gates, those arches, they get pretty backed up when you are trying to get into Halloween Horror Nights. So the fact that you have this dedicated line to sit in, to wait in, is honestly a win-win-win for me, and one that I would choose over the long lines of the arches. And the other really awesome thing, if you are a person like us that really enjoys theming, atmosphere, storytelling, immersion, is the fact that Universal hotels will also go all out when it comes to the Halloween season, spooky season. I will say some of the hotels, they do go a little bit more all out on the decoration and theming than others, but from what we saw last season is that all of them had some type of theming to the Halloween season. For me personally, I love to be able to have that like cohesion of storytelling and theming all throughout. So you come to HHN and then in the daytime you have the spooky vibes of feeling like it's still just all one great portion of your vacation.
And while Pao and I are huge advocates when it comes to staying at a Universal hotel, we will always choose Universal over any other type of hotel. This is just to say for you to start preparing to find whichever hotel, whether it's Universal or a completely other company, because the earlier that you do decide, I mean, it's pretty much common sense, but people do forget and they need a reminder. The easier it is for you and your wallet to plan your vacation.
All right, before we wrap up this video, we have some very important updates, starting with the fact that we have officially finished the Fallout series. Last time you heard of us, we had not seen it.
We said we were going to do our homework, but why are we telling you this? Is because, take it from us, we think that this house has a lot of potential to be a good house at HHN.
Listen.
A lot of people are questioning it.
Yes.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. If you have, and the people that are questioning it tend to be the people that have not seen the series or played the game. I got to tell you, it is only 8 episodes, is it?
Yep.
8 episodes on Amazon Prime, and oh my gosh, once you watch 1, 2 at the most, you're going to be hooked, and you're going to want to finish it.
Not just that, but we've got even higher hopes for it because we got confirmation details about the Fallout house from Universal Creative Minds who were recently interviewed at IGN. So we've got John Murdy over from Hollywood, and then we've got Matt Flood for Orlando. They gave us some scenes that come out in the series that they're really looking forward to showcasing.
Yes.
And we are even more pumped. One of them being the Super Duper Mart where the ghouls chase the people around. That scene alone, if you've seen the series, you know exactly what we're talking about.
And you know that this ain't gonna be your campy little HHN house, which is what we thought. Not just that, but also the thing that HHN does so well, the hauntingly dark scenes where, for example, Matt Flood talked about how Lucy comes out of Vault 33. We're going to be starting in Vault 33 and making our way out, and Lucy sees the bodies that have been incinerated from the Fallout.
And the biggest thing of all that stood out to me was that they teased a final battle moment with the T-60 armored soldiers. And if you've seen the series, once again, there's one scene there where the ghoul comes out, the battle happens, and there's just literally, we were watching it, we're like, this is definitely going to come out.
We were like, this is going to be the scene that Matt Flood is talking about. Now, he said that specifically for Orlando. I don't know if it's going to also make its way to Hollywood. They did confirm, both Murdy and Flood, that this is going to be something that you have to go to both coasts to really get the real full experience, because these houses will have different nuances. And in the last 30 seconds, IGN threw a Hail Mary at these Universal creatives and asked what other houses, mazes can they tease?
Can you tease any more mazes coming to Halloween Horror Nights this year?
I can think of one property that our fans have been like requesting for years and years.
Yeah, starts with the number 5.
Is it 5? Yeah, 5. And then there's Five Nights. Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Yes.
So if you were questioning anything, you know now.
Now, the only thing is that we still don't know what a whole new way means.
Right.
We know this is going to be a house, so what exactly in this house is going to come in as a whole new way? I'm so excited to get that official Universal announcement to the public.
It could be, for all we know, it could be a house and something else in addition, an experience.
Yes.
We're not sure.
I'm so stoked. And more importantly, because John Murdy did confirm that we are truly going to be living the movie of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Jim Henson Creature Shop, which brought the Blumhouse movie animatronics to life, is also involved in the HHN house. This year, we're telling you right now, don't sleep on it. It's going to be a phenomenal year.
I'm so excited for this year. I cannot wait. And as you know, we're going to be here bringing you all of the updates, all of the announcements.
Make sure you subscribe, you like this video, and stay tuned because, like we keep saying, we're just getting started, baby.
Thank you so much for watching. We love you. We'll catch you next week.